Well, hi. This is Grixon. I really appreciate you being here. So, I'm going to go over a Mists 16 that I did earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday, right at the start. So this is Season 3, Week 3, and this is our second week of actual affixes, and we're still getting gear. I think I'm still pretty low. I think I'm 256, 257 at this point. Pretty easy key, actually, for me as a tank. Now, I am in Discord with everybody. It's a fortified week, so let's talk about this. Last week, we had tyrannical bolstering. With how everything is tuned right now, tyrannical bolstering, if something bolstered 1.5 times, so let's just say 2 times, you pretty much had a bolstering mob. You had a fortified mob. So if something bolstered twice, that was a fortified mob, pretty much. Past that was worse. So I'm going to talk about this route. I'm going to talk about what went good, what could be changed, and moving forward with the new encrypted affix. So this pull is rough. The bleed is very hard on the healer. They just jump, and it's RNG, and people are just getting destroyed. As the weeks go on and we get a lot more stamina, this will be less of an issue. But if you're gonna do this early in the, the gearing process, and especially if you're pugging, be ready for that. It's going to do a lot of damage. So I'm actually going for this over here. I'm going for this because I really want the woe relic. See, I'm marking it preemptively. So I want everybody to focus on the woe relic. So this is kind of like a hybrid of last season where everybody would skip all of this. So I'm killing this stuff to get some extra count and then use woe relic with the drifter to skip up to the forecasters. So it's just very important that you're getting that burst from the drifter. Burst is this encrypted mob will do a huge pulse of damage to the team. So I put him as my focus kick, and I just told everybody, hey, I'm going to just solo kick this guy. And then everybody else just take care of whatever you want. Now, of course, I could be stunning, I could asphyxiate, I could grip. There's a lot of things I can be doing here. And I wasn't, so there's things I can work on there. But I do get hit hard in kind of unpredictable times. Because it's new season, I'm still trying to feel out like what I'm safe with and what I'm not. And just making sure the burst is taken care of. So we get the woe relic. It lasts for 60 seconds. Like, it's insane the value you can get if you're trying to do any skips. So you don't have to keep it alive the whole pull. You can just kill it, and then when you want to, you just go right through. And then we just hug the left side right here. From there, I'm skipping this one. I skip this, and I go straight into this pack. So from here on forward, it's pretty much like Season 2 route. I just get more count this way, and unfortunately we don't have a way. Our normal Demonology Warlock is out today in this key, so we didn't have mist skips. We brought in this Frost Mage, which is one of Archie's friends, and he did great. We just didn't have the mist pulls, but it worked out. We ended up timing this key, so it wasn't really that big of an issue. I only bring it up because with mist pulls, I think the timer would have been very safe, and I don't think I would have had to I wouldn't have had to pull as big as I did near the end of this key. So I went Night Fae for this dungeon. I've been really liking Night Fae lately. So 2 things. Night Fae is going to be really good once we have our tier set and our double legendary. But since I don't have any of that right now, Night Fae at the moment is a little bit behind probably Venthyr in terms of survivability just currently, but it's good to get into the rotation of it if you want to practice it. It's pretty easy. It's just more rotationally demanding. You have to be very aware of, you can easily dump way too many heart strikes in and then just have no runes. And then you also have to, if you're looking at my crosshair, you have to manage this right here. So the normal convention is to fish for a Death and Decay proc with Crimson Scourge and then do it, you kind of want to be hard casting it when you are Night Fae, because your Death's Due does a lot of damage, and you need to maintain this 20% strength buff as much as possible. Is it 20%? I'm not sure if it's 20% yet, or if it's gonna be 20% after the stuff. I'm actually not sure. So, but it is a strength buff, and if you see the mobs have a debuff on them, they're doing less damage to me with that debuff up. And as it ticks down, this is why you need to be hard casting Death and Decay when you are a Night Fae. So, hard casting, I mean, normally you get a Crimson Scourge proc, you drop Death and Decay, and it doesn't cost any runes. It's free. When you're hard casting it, you are spending a rune to bring it down, and you have to consider that when you're running this. So running the Crimson Rune Weapon Legendary is pretty much a must with Night Fae. Thankfully, it's going to synergize great. And then the other aspect of this is I wouldn't be grabbing Night Fae if I didn't have some way to pull threats. I have a rogue who can Trickster the Trade me, and I will take his aggro. So when Trickster the Trade's up, whatever damage he's doing, that aggro is being inflicted to me instead. So without someone who can do that, I would probably be playing Night Fae a lot less until I have the force, the 4-piece and the 4-piece tier and the double legendary. Another thing you can do as a trick, if you're having trouble with, oh, that was a bad mistake on my part. If you're having trouble with aggro in these keys, when you get when he dies, you get a lot of CDR, right? You get a lot of cooldown reduction. You can blood boil non-stop while he's going. Look at the blood boil go. Look at the recast of it. So you can just keep spamming it if you want. So if you want to do a decent amount of AoE damage fast, like let's say you do like a 10 mob pull and you have in there. Once dies, you can just be like just hitting it if you wanted to. Obviously you have to worry about living, but it is an option there for you to where it's pretty much as fast as you're clicking it, you're getting blood boil back. Especially if you're having trouble with threat and you're like the middle of the pull, if like somebody starts really bursting, that's an option you have to keep in mind. So this boss on a fortified week, he's not too bad. Just remember, this boss Malik, when he has his like super huge damage reduction on, what is it called? What is it called? I must have already missed it at this point. This Embrace Darkness, it's the fear, which you can AMS out of. But see how he has a buff over him right now? This big thing? He takes 300% less damage while that's up, and it reflects damage onto you. So if you're hitting him while that buff is up, you are taking damage back. Keep in mind that. So a lot of people try and push him when that buff is up because they don't want to do the tree phase again. You are doing massive damage to yourself if that is on him. So a little trick I always do, I always put a skull in the Mistcaller. Mistcaller is going to go where the exit is. So you can see she's going to go through there. That is the way we need to go. And if you keep tracking that skull, I actually had to move, but I try and look back real quick. See how she goes like kind of down and to the left? She goes into the next one. So really, if you're good at this, you can find out what the first two maze walls are just by that. Like, you don't have to do the minigame, nothing. You just know if you track it well. And then from there, normally if you have the auto maze thing where it shows you the arrow where you need to go, that usually kicks on after the second one. So really, you can make this like really on rails. So yeah, we saw her go this way. We're good to go. And we know she went down here and then to the left. I still do the game because I didn't quite get to see, as you remember, I wasn't really being able to pay too much attention. We know that it's going to be either this door next to me or it's going to be the one up the ramp. Because we know she went to the left somewhere. which would be our right now. So again, just trying to get our 4 stacks for strength, and then trying to spread that to the enemies so we take less damage from them. And I'm kind of just doing the mini game. This is like a no threat. The difficulty of this dungeon was actually crazy easy for me. I was really surprised. And it's this one at the ramp. Like I thought I was gonna have a hard time, and I think my team was kind of carrying me on it. They did so many kicks, so many interrupts. I didn't have to do too much. See, I went to get that nourish of the forest, and it was just kicked. Like everybody was on top of it. It was kind of crazy. I know my job is to tank and to keep stuff together, but I just felt like I wasn't contributing in this key. Because normally when I do this key, someone's pulling through the mist, like extra count. So I'm used to having to like struggle a bit more. But look, like I'm overcapped on runic power. I'm not getting hit enough to spend it properly. And actually after this key, I get that axe, the haste verse axe, which was really cool. So I kind of had to see in relation to where I was. There's an issue there because this add-on, it goes from where you came in. So it's gonna be front right on this one. Also, my first vault of the season, of the new like proper season, was a fully upgraded blood spattered scale, which was pretty nuts. I'm still trying to farm for the Tazavesh trinket. I really want it bad. So far I've done like 8 of them, and still no luck. I haven't even seen a drop yet, but I'm just gonna keep at it. And I should have a video up soon about Tazavesh. I can't talk. Tazavesh streets. I should have a video on that soon. Just talking about the route, talking about what mobs you have to worry about. I think some people would like to see that. I think it could be helpful. I know some of the bigger guys like Dratnos and Tactics have already done this kind of content. And please check that stuff out if you want to see that. But I might just do one in my style and kind of explain, like, as the tank, these are the things you need to worry about. And I can show you like how I position things and how I do it. I'm gonna tell you right now, the dungeon is hard for tanking. It's gonna give you a run for your money, especially if you're pulling efficiently. There's a lot of pulls that you can break up, but you lose a lot of DPS for the whole team if you do break up some of these pulls. We'll talk about it when we get to that video. That'll probably be my next video. So yeah, going back to vault, let me know in the comments what you got in your vault. Was it good? I was very happy with it. I don't usually get good luck with this kind of stuff, so it was very nice. It was very nice. Yeah. So yeah, no pulls makes this sad because I like to get both of these frogs. I like to get 2 of them at once, actually. Alright. Blood spatter scale did 30k just right off the bat, which is pretty nice. Oh yeah, if you guys haven't done this yet, there's a bind on a there's a crafted ring you can get right now that's 262, and it has like it's like the next tier up from the old crafted rings from last season, to where you can pick what stats are on it, but they also have an equip ability. So I took one that makes it so where whenever I get hit, it adds a counter, and after I get 5 of these counters, it does damage to somebody, which is this mark right here. That's 858. It'll do damage to somebody if I get up to 5 ticks of it, and it ends up being like 1.5% of my overall damage. This ring with an equip. And I don't lose any stats for it. It's basically like free. The ring costs, I think, like 15k, 12k, something like that. You can just get it on the auction house, and it's free damage, and you get to cherry pick the stats on the ring. So I went with big versatility, and then haste, then I enchanted haste, and then I gemmed haste, which is why you see the stats I'm at now, where I have that much haste and mastery and like so little crit now. Yeah. One thing that I can critique on myself here is these tornadoes. I need to be doing Death's Advance and running through them. Death's Advance makes it so you can't be, there's no knockback. You're immune to knockback. So it's very good this week to Death's Advance and then just run through all those. So they despawn, and then none of your other team is getting hit by them. Which is something I should have utilized more. So at this point, we really want to be at the boss. So I have to see where we came in, and then like, okay, boss right here. I have to orient myself for this weak aura. And we wanted to pull through the mists. And Live Lock told us we could. But I don't know if it was possible. And so I actually try and throw a Death and Decay in there. That's what I'm trying to do. Like I'm sitting here trying to get in there and get one in. It didn't work. So we just go for boss. Yeah, so shout out to the teammates. I'm running with 2 other streamers. You may know Livelock because he was a Blood DK YouTuber. Right now he's kind of pivoting for Shadow Priest, but he still has relevant content to Blood DKs on there, and a lot of really nice editing, a lot of good content for people wanting to know about the spec. And if you're into any DPS point of view, with keys I'm into, he does do some of that. Or if you don't like me, like, you're more than welcome. He has a lot of keys without me too. And the other person in here that does YouTube is our Rogue. He has some Rogue videos, but he actually was a Resto Druid for most of the expansion, and he has a lot of Resto Druid videos. So he's got a blend of a few different things. So definitely check both of them out. I'm going to put their links in the description. And also, like a little shameless plug here, if you like the content that I'm doing, please consider liking the video and commenting or subscribing. I'm a small channel, and I would really appreciate it. But if, no pressure. If you're not into it, if you don't like that I'm saying these things, maybe you could leave a comment, tell me you don't like it. I'm just kidding. If you like the video, like it. If you didn't, that's fine too. I mean, all of this is free. I don't get paid for this. I just do this for fun and to help me get better at the game. So I make a mistake here. I'm thinking it's this one. It's not. So I actually need to move over because they're all killing that one and I'm being dumb. I'm the only one hitting this and I still haven't gotten it. I'm going full on. Oh, that Vulpin's so scary right there. And he's right where we need to be. I always focus kick this mist collar. So no matter what I'm targeting, I always get the kick on that patty cake. Again, don't like this. I always Chains of Ice it. And if you're Blood DK and there's nobody around you, you need to make sure no one's around you. You can anti-magic shield, then you can grip that thing into you. The ice explosion will happen, but you won't get frozen, and you can just eat it. You can essentially just eat it. But you need to make sure no one's around you. So if you have melee and stuff, or like people's pets, like hunter's pets or something, you're gonna freeze them all. So you need to make sure no one is near you when you do it. But it is a tool at your disposal if you want to like run away from everybody, AMS, and then grip it in. You can totally do that. But I still try and be helpful and like throw chains of ice down when it's not hexed. Yeah, this fight took a little too long on a fortified week. All right. So you have options here. Sometimes in last season you'd actually skip this 3-pack here and the LT and then pull big. But this 3-pack up here actually has an encrypted affix on it, so it's kind of still worth the grab. Because you can kill this, get the encrypted stuff, and then you pretty much get like a cooldown rotation for free. People can really hit some cooldowns here and then get it back if you're getting the relic. Also, keep in mind when the dismantler is out, when he does deconstruct, you see the little dot right here? You actually take additional damage from all sources when that's up. So doing big pulls is completely fine, but you need to know that he's going to put that debuff on you sometimes. So it's not just a swirly you have to dodge. It can make a big difference in a pull when you get him versus others. The Drifter, the one that gives you the speed buff and like pretty much Shroud, he actually gives you 10% damage reduction as well. If you didn't know that. Alright, so I have to go kind of big here. We need count. I have to wait for bursting to be done. I should have mounted up right here actually. That's what I should have done. I don't know why I didn't. And I don't have rocket boost either. So I was kind of letting those Reavers go by. I don't really want them. So I'm going to go now. There is an encrypted affix there, but I'm not actually wanting to trigger it. So if you pull that, not all of them won't come. Like all of the affix won't come. So let's get this stuff gathered. I'm going to pop my blood spattered scale here to ensure I have threat. And then just kind of get into it. I set my focus kick on the one thing that needs to be kicked. I think I actually missed the kick there. I'm not sure. So I got to get these guys out of the green goop, so I have to kind of backpedal a little bit, which does put me at danger of the little buzzing bees, but, you know, can't really stand there anymore, and I don't want to backpedal the other way and then have to run through it. So I think we do catch them here. But our healer has a lot of mana, so I am not too worried. I'm doing okay. I need some runic power like yesterday, but we're managing. But yeah, so bursting's coming out, so I put an AMZ there to try and help. Also with the poison. You know, poison is nature damage, so AMZ will help with that. Good way to tell these things is right here. I can see how much damage I've taken in the last 5 seconds and what type it is. So that can really help you learn what you should be doing anti-magic shield for and what you should be doing anti-magic zone for. It can really help you with the damage. And that one is called damage types. I do have a link to it, I think, in my add-ons and UI video, if you need to find it. Swirly there, gotta be careful. Yeah, I'm taking increased damage here from that guy doing deconstruct on me, so I have to be very careful of that extra damage. See how I'm getting more spiky towards the end of the fight? And that's purely because of that dot he puts on me to take increased damage. So here I'd actually want to do AMS because of the bursting. You can negate bursting stacks if you have AMS on when it's about to happen. But I'm more thinking about time and count. So I know this is going to give me count here. and so I need to kind of go. I need to kind of start this whole thing up, and just really be careful. So I need to make sure I don't go below 5 bone shield stacks. I need to make sure that I'm cycling cooldowns properly, and just really on top of it, because this can go south real fast for me. I really should have popped a Lichborn, or Lichborn there. I must have been panicking a little bit, just trying to make sure I don't die, because I definitely should have pushed it. Ooh. But see, now I'm out of runic power and runes, and I'm kind of in a bit of trouble. Dancing rune weapon just came back up, but it is looking kind of rough for me. Oh, I did pop Lichborn just near the end when I was about to die, to try and help with some of that leech. Okay, I put AMZ down for everybody. Bursting is shadow damage, if you can see on my screen. So AMZ does help with bursting. Alright, we don't have Lust up yet, but we kind of have to go. Alright, now we're off to it. I'm going to eat the swirl right here. I had defensives going, and actually eating the swirl, yes, it does do damage to you, but if you like do AMS for it, or have something in combined for the first 2 or maybe 3 on a fortified week, it's not going to spread. So it kind of helps the team near the end of the fight, because you don't want to move too much when this is happening, because it'll remember it and then do it next time. I'm sure you guys know that, but I'm just talking. I'm not actually a huge talker, so trying my best to not have too much dead air in a YouTube video, and put actual relatable things in there instead of just talking about nothing. Speaking of talking about nothing, my whole life I have never heard this comparison before until I started this YouTube channel. 4 times now in the last 5 months I have been called the Bob Ross of Blood DKs. Apparently I have a Bob Ross kind of energy to me. I don't know. I think it's mostly just because I have to talk relatively quietly, because my daughter does sleep in the room above me. But I don't know. In these first weeks of keys, I kind of want to talk about, there's going to be a lot of mess ups, either from you or from the rest of the team, because we're all still trying to learn this stuff and we're under geared. There's going to be a lot of depleted keys. There's going to be a lot of completions and a lot of disbands. Even when this happens, which has happened a lot to us lately. Actually, these last 2 weeks have been a little rough for that. Try and figure out what you could do better. Even if you weren't the one who, did bad, like even if it wasn't your quote unquote fault, think about, okay, could I have communicated better? Could I have said big pull here? Could I have said let me gather aggro first, or something small to that could have set up the rest of the team for more success? Is there better communication you could have done? Could you have pulled bigger? Could you have pulled less? Because bursting is a thing, and there's especially in the Tazavesh dungeons, there's a lot of things that need to be kicked, and there's a lot of consequences to those. So don't get too hard on yourself. Just stay positive and figure out what could have been done better. Okay. So yeah, it's upgraded with 41 seconds left. That's good stuff. I will show the breakdowns in a minute. And there's the axe right there. Such a nice one. And it actually has brought my damage up a good amount too, just wearing it. I haven't upgraded it at all. It's good stuff. Alright guys, I'm not going to bother you anymore. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm up past 400 subscribers now, and that's all thanks to you guys. Like, I actually didn't think I'd even get to 400, so really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in that Tazavesh video when I put it out, and thank you so much for being here. Here's the breakdowns. So Heartstrike was definitely my best. See you guys in the next one.